Hello and welcome to this week's video homily. On this fifth week of the Easter season, we're thinking about another of the sayings of Jesus that tell us something important about him, but also what it all means for us here in this time and place as we struggle for faith. I am the way, the truth, and the life, Jesus says. Over the past few weeks, we've been thinking together about the resurrection, that vexed theological matter. How could this impossible thing be? Who comes back from the dead after 3 days? 3 minutes, maybe. But 3 days? Come on. And yet if these early disciples had tried to make up a story, why have they included stories about the strugglers and the doubters? Why wouldn't it have been all flawless and triumphant? Instead, in these stories, we find the risen Christ right in the place where they were locked away, coming to them, breathing peace into their fear. We find him walking alongside, questioning disciples who've seen all their hopes crushed, all their worst fears realised. And he makes himself known to them around a meal as they break bread together. These stories tell us that the risen Jesus stays with us through our darkest days. He's with us even when we're too preoccupied or too full of anxiety and fear to even notice that he's present with us. These are very anxious times we've been living through. We're living in a world where nothing seems certain or sure, with this virus that has permeated our homes, churches and schools with its tentacles has left us feeling adrift and afraid. It's hard to get a foothold. Everything feels up in the air. Where is it all going to end? In today's gospel, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. In uncertain times, Jesus promises us a sure footing and certainty. Now, Jesus wasn't talking to his disciples at a time when they felt really safe. They knew that ahead of them were some pretty bad things. Jesus' enemies were gathering and getting stronger and plotting. But Jesus says to them and to us in uncertain times, don't worry or be anxious. God gives us precisely what we need for this moment because God gives us a person, Jesus, to depend on for a foothold in life, the one who goes ahead of us in every single situation, the one who gives us real security. One of the important things about Jesus that he tells us here and in other places is that if we want to know what God is like, then take a look at Jesus. God is knowable because Jesus is knowable. In Jesus, we find a God who isn't floating above all the troubles of the world from a distance, but right in the middle of it all with us, boots and all. The God we find in Jesus came and lived among us, lived our life in all its messiness and its trouble, made a home among the poor, healed the sick, fed the hungry, blessed children, washed the feet of his disciples, wept at the death of a friend. This gospel today tells us that God is with us even in our most vulnerable places, even when we're flailing around in fear and uncertainty. I am the way and the truth and the life, Jesus says. The footing is sure, the path is solid, you can't get lost. God won't let you go, no matter how much you fail, no matter what you do wrong, no matter how much you wander away or want to. Jesus keeps showing us the way to a full and abundant life. Now, this abundant life isn't about accumulating money or status. If that's your goal, the prosperity gospel was never really ever a thing. It's simply a life of trust and hope that no matter what's going on in our own personal lives or in the world around us, God goes before us. We're offered a life full of peace and joy and hope, no matter what's happening, even if we're not rich or comfortable, no matter if the world turns to custard around us. These are good words to hold on to when everything feels up in the air. When you can't find the way, when it seems as if there's no way, then we find that Jesus is the way, and the truth and the life. Don't let your hearts be troubled. What's not up in the air is Jesus' love for us and Jesus' power to love us through every single uncertainty. This love's not temporary. This love can't be cancelled. This love doesn't have to be rescheduled. It's absolutely rock solid. God is our rock. God is our stronghold, even through these strange, scary, uncertain, and difficult times. Follow and trust this Jesus. What do you have to lose? The Lord be with you.